Back is still hard facts 92.3 Nigeria info. Sam Chinedu here. Our conversation for this hour borders on education. I've been trying to connect with my guest, but for some reason that has proven difficult. Hopefully, we can do that before the conversation ends, but I'll keep trying. All right. The Benue State government has banned graduation parties for kindergarten, nursery, and primary schools in the state. The acting commissioner, Ministry of Education and Knowledge Management, Mrs. Helen Nambative, told the news agency of Nigeria on Thursday in Makadi that defaulting schools will be sanctioned. Nambative said schools might be closed temporarily for failure to implement the new education policy that prohibits such parties. The acting commissioner therefore said the government was putting all the needed mechanisms in place to enforce the new policy. She said the new policy, which was with immediate effect, was not only people-oriented but would also sanitize the education sector at the basic levels. Nambative, who is also the permanent secretary of the ministry, said schools that fail to implement the policy in the 2025-2026 academic session might not be allowed to operate. She also disclosed that the government would constitute a task force for enforcement. Okay. So Benue says no more graduation parties for nursery, primary, and secondary schools in the state. Why? To ease the financial burden on parents, and while they need the focus to be on education, not other things. Now, if you think Benue is alone on that hill, you're wrong. Imo State also placed a ban on those parties. The National Orientation Agency has hailed the Imo State government for banning graduation parties for pupils in nursery, primary, and junior secondary schools, describing the policy as a bold step towards instilling discipline and responsible value orientation among young learners. The Director General, NOA, Lanre Isao Nilu, in a statement by the Director of Communications and Media, Balab Musa, said the practice of organizing graduation ceremonies encourages a culture of waste, unrealistic expectations, and instant reward, and places unnecessary financial pressure on parents. So you have Imo State and then you have Benue State. Two states. There might be other states that you and I are not aware of. But the point is, states are beginning to frown on graduation parties for nursery, primary, and secondary students. Now, for universities, that's another conversation. I know that the news at 3. I heard the voice of a rep of Uniport saying that they have banned the way people... Let me try to look for that. University of Port Harcourt has warned final year students against reckless behavior during the popular sign-out tradition. Yes, so let's hear from him. Speaking with correspondent Nnamdi Samuala, the Dean of Student Affairs, Professor Chima Wokacha, said the institution has banned all forms of irresponsible acts often associated with the event.
There was this thing about signing out with sachet water, which of course we banned. Now, a new kind of sign out has come out where final year students get drunk and drive cars at breakneck speeds, carrying their colleagues, hanging out of the windows, some sitting on the booth. That is no way to celebrate sign out. We graduate students in character and learning. And we don't expect them to bring character that is found in the park. Let me not even use the word sign out, because you can never really sign out till you defend your project.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of see the point the professor is making, right? With tertiary institutions, Uniport, Uni-Up, Uni-Down, Polytechnic, whatever, you're dealing with adults. And even though you would expect that adults will behave themselves, they should exercise some restraints, do it within the bounds of what makes sense. Sometimes they don't, right? I know that this sign-out tradition in universities of pouring water has been there for as long as they poured me water too when I graduated. I remember. And there's a part of it that feels like fun. It's your friends pouring you water. You know, it's a tradition. They sign on shirts. I didn't do the shirt sign thing. It wasn't really my thing. But again, I remember that I don't think we were crazy about it at the time. No, I don't remember anybody doing that. But water, they poured me water. I remember that one very well. It was fun in the beginning, and then later I started getting pissed. Like, yo, this is okay, right? But then again, you now realize, and I'm speaking from a social perspective, that some people that they didn't pour water now feel left out, because it now seems like it's a question of if you have friends, if you're popular, yada yada yada, So in some contexts, it feels like it's safe. But then people are people. They know how to abuse things. They know how to take it beyond the scope of what it initially was. Before you know, we now start hearing that they are now pouring people water from gutter. Like, okay, no, this is not what I signed up for. Right? It starts to get messy because, well, people have ideas. Oh, what if I do this? What if I take it a notch further? I was in the school area. I graduated from Unizik. So those who know the campus would understand what I'm talking about. I lived on perm site. So I had my apartment in Ifite. Again, Unizik students or those from Oka, they get the whole thing. So when I was done from class, went back to my lodge, as we call it, got to the hostel or my room, people still poured me water. Now that one can't divest me, say, wait, it happen. Right? Now, the professor, who's the dean, is saying, okay, some people are now doing car race. Now it's beginning to look crazy and funny. Nope. You get drunk, you race cars, you could knock someone down. But again, we're dealing with adults. So, Uniport, Unizik, UNN, whatever would know how to handle that. But when we talk about primary, secondary schools, particularly nursery and primary, now it's the parents that are affected. For this to be a policy that these two states have implemented, proposed, and obviously would have to implement at some point, it means that there have been complaints. And the first complaint would be the financial pressure. Most of us have kids in school. And we know that feeling where you're just living your life. You want to watch TV, you want to relax, you want to spend time on social media, or you just want to live and let live. And your child will come from nowhere. They don't have to come at the worst possible time. They say we should pay for this in school. You're like, So maybe the pressure has been heavy on parents. And they know how to, they know how to do it on the shortest possible notice. Daddy, they say we should pay for this one for our graduation party. I say, okay, you're still trying to digest that information they gave you. And the party is next week. And this is Thursday or Friday. Next week, what? They will say Monday or Tuesday. So, it's almost, that's you're under duress. The child have held you at gunpoint, but there's no gun in their hand. And the thing is, you realize that, okay, maybe other kids are getting, you just don't want your child to be left out. So the parent is now in a tight corner. You now have to go and get, because they want to wear this one for their graduation. It will not be good that everybody's doing. They are paying for this. They will not give your child food. There's that pressure. Parents may not say it, but the truth is they consistently have to meet up. So maybe some parents have had enough. Benue people were like, you know what? We will not be quiet. If Port Harcourt people don't want to talk, we will say something. So the complaints must have been many, and the state government says, nope, no more graduation party for nursery, primary. Everybody just move on, pretend nothing happened. After the break, we talk some more. Stay with us.
Nigeria Info.
Yeah, we're talking about a ban on graduation parties instituted in Benue and Imo states. Well, the Benue state government banned graduation parties for kindergarten, nursery, and primary schools in the state. The acting commissioner, Ministry of Education and Knowledge Management, Mrs. Helen Nambative, told newsmen on Tuesday in Makadi that defaulting schools would be sanctioned. Well, Imo followed suit. As a matter of fact, Imo banned before Benue. I think the ban from Imo was last month. And it's possible there are other state governments that have, rolled out this policy. So I'm asking what your take is on this. Now, different perspectives to this. The major reason stated was because of the financial burden on parents. But the question is, how much of a burden is it really? Now, I understand, like I explained earlier, you're just trying to get by. Some people find it difficult to even pay the tuition, the school fees. So if you come and they say we should buy this, we should pay for this, I get it's not very easy for parents. A lot of parents have a pay small plan for tuition. Lots of schools have arrangements with parents that they can pay their tuition in installments. And it works perfectly for those who decide to be reasonable. So, coming out of nowhere saying they say we should pay 15,000 for graduation, they say we should pay for this, pay for that, many parents would not find that funny. And maybe those are the complaints that led these state governments to roll out those policies. Say, you know what, we've placed a ban. And while it does seem valid, are there advantages to these ceremonies? This conversation made its way to social media a couple of months ago, and I remember reading comments. And most people in the comment section were criticizing the schools, obviously made of parents. Oh, that's how they say we should pay this in my child's school, my daughter's school, my this one, my that one. And through all of those voices, there's always a defiant one. And a woman dropped a comment and said that she is grateful to her child's school for organizing a graduation ceremony. Why, you might ask? Well, she said that she had lost that child. The child had died. But the photos from the graduation ceremony were one of the most important photos that they held dear. They were able to spend time at that ceremony. They celebrated with the child. They made fond memories. That if that ceremony had not happened, she would not have had those memories to hold on to. And then everyone started to think, okay, that's another perspective. You see, there are those who belong to the school of thought that every milestone should be marked. If you're saying, no, let me only wait till they get to secondary school or university before we do graduation. These little milestones, graduating from nursery, from primary, are there ways to mark it with a ceremony? I'm not saying it should bore a hole in the pocket of the parents. But if you're banning this completely, shouldn't there be options for parents who really want to mark these moments? Who for them, it makes up an important part of, family celebrations. Should that not exist? And should there be an outright ban? Shouldn't there be maybe an opportunity for parents to choose? Okay, if you want graduation, but I know if you do that one, it will cause more problems. Because those parents who vote against it, now be as if you hate your children. See your children going to party, reach your turn. Daddy, what have I done to you? Anyways, at this point, it obviously is a debate. So what's your take? Do you support the ban on graduation ceremonies for kids? Those in nursery, primary, in lower levels of education? Should those graduations be only reserved for seniors, maybe senior secondary or university? Even though university people too, sometimes they don't have sense. What's your take on this? Now, as I said earlier, I am supposed to have a guest, but for some reason I've been unable to reach him. I'm hoping he's okay. But I'd like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. What is your take on the subject, the ban on graduation ceremonies in school? Good evening. My name is Glorious, chatting from Rumo Chakra, Choba. I want to share my experience because I want this rule to be placed in River State. In my children's school, my daughter that is in nursery school, they informed me that she's graduating to primary school, and I paid 25,000 naira for her. And she came back home with only basin and one plate of jollof rice that I'm sure is not up to 5,000. It's not proper. The economy is depleting. Okay. So, Glorious from Choba, thank you for sending that. Obviously, you're a businesswoman, or you're just a Nigerian. 25K, one bowl, and one plate of jollof rice. That's not working for you. So, for you, you don't want the ban. You just want the money you pay. You want it to show working. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. JJ calls from Rumi Igbo. Good evening, JJ. Why are you laughing?
Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
You know, the message you read, I think I have a similar experience.
Okay.
I have two daughters who are in the same school.
Okay.
The senior one did a junior WAEC, and they said our graduation fee is 15,000, and the other one is in primary. Our home graduation fee or something is 6,000.
Hold on, JJ.
Put it together.
Sorry for interrupting you. Graduation from junior secondary to senior secondary.
Yes, and yes again.
Okay, so they consider that graduation as well.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you even read through, you will see from junior secondary to senior and all those. This is personal experience.
Okay.
And I said, I'm not paying. That money, I will take them to one cool area, and at the end of the day, it will do justice to whatever they intend doing. But Sam, you know where the whole matter is. They now said, well, since they didn't pay, that they have presentation. So the one graduating from SS to JS to SS has a presentation. That is like national call now. The school calling that they should come perform. And they did all those performers. Sam, you know what happened?
Tell me.
While they are sharing the food, they share past their head. In spite of the national assignment, they answered though.
They no pay now. They no pay.
So, if you know that those that don't pay shouldn't come, then don't give them assignment. Because personally, I'm thinking that if you're giving them national assignment, you should pay them for the assignment.
Okay.
After all the money they spent them for the assignment, I didn't see the money. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I think that it's putting more burden on the parents, and I want to say kudos to the state already that have said no to this. Like
So-
you just asked me,
Yeah.
GS3, Junior WAEC,
Yeah.
if you have that certificate, what can you do with it? Then you now go to SS1 and change uniform and all the, no. There are some states that haven't said the book Sam used, Sam Junior can use it and all those. That's how we wrote the other time. And you just buy integrated science workbook and you're good to go with the whole textbook. I don't get this whole thing now.
Okay, but JJ, what about families that like to mark these events, right? Let's take
They
away.
invite other children in the school. Say some family is inviting everybody, cook rice, cook beans.
No,
You know,
wait
at
now,
the time when
wait. See,
I'm listening.
again, I know that the cost is an issue, right? Sometimes I see the amount that these schools quote, and I know that it's exorbitant. But away from that, the idea of a graduation party, people coming to school, marking.
From where to where?
No, from nursery.
The is telling you now that the way they celebrate the graduation, I listened to the student affairs University of Port Harcourt that they want to stop it. You begin to run speed. The graduation has even turned to another thing. I've seen where people thought that acid is water and they pour it on somebody. How do we continue this way now? Do we lose it because some people want to keep memory? If you want to keep memory, invite the children, take them holiday to Dubai. Me, I will volunteer my own daughter.
JJ.
I will go with you to Dubai so that you can have a memory of their class.
I when I was in primary school, right, I know that schools were doing graduation because I also had one in my own school.
You
And
just take picture after you don't go write your common
no,
exam,
wait
come
now,
back and have
wait.
picture. I'm listening.
JJ, apart from what schools have turned, oh my goodness, I've lost that call. Okay, so I'm hoping that you're listening. Apart from what schools have turned it to right now, that was also, some schools also combine it with speech and prize giving day. So at that ceremony, they give, of course, the best in maths, best in this. It's an opportunity, right? There were valedictory events. That's when, you got the opportunity to know which child was doing well, the best performing in the whole class. Sometimes, depending on the school, this one now, it depends if you're from Ajabo or Bako school. Some schools have a way that they make arrangements for a child to come and give a speech. Like JJ said, some kids also perform. So it was a ceremony. Now, if the money is taken away, they say, okay, parents don't pay at all. Will you still be against it? Victor from Mile 3. Hello, Victor.
Yes. Salute you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Policies are called policies because they change with changing trends.
Yeah.
Before now, some decades, let me say 100 years ago, we used to hear in Moonlight Story how a group of people will go to the market, buy something and drop money, and later the owners of those goods will come and pick it. Why did those things stop? Because humans have evolved. So before now, this celebration of a thing was good. But because the trend has changed it, I think this is one of the best response I'm actually observing from the Nigerian government of recent. This is very apt. They shouldn't just ban it. They should ensure that there is a sanction against any school that will actually, flout this particular directive. If you want to do a celebration, like JAJ said, call a group of families. In fact, you can even organize and call the school. They should do it in your compound so that you will take responsibility of anything that will happen to those kids, and not in the guise of celebrating something that does not even worth it. And you expose my kids to a series of dangers. Have you been to any of these parties? You see the way some of the families intimidate the other families, pepper them gang. No.
Victor, I have been to at least a few of those. I know that there are those experiences, but you cannot dismiss the entire idea because one family intimidated and yeah.
Apart from the cost, that's out. We are also looking at those of the university who are, according to the dean, was celebrating driving cars anyhow. And once people begin to lose their life, it is the village people.
All right, Victor, thank you very much. Well, the university, like I said, is another conversation. Those are adults. Most times their parents are not there and they will take responsibility for that. Right? But these policies in Benue and Imo states and possibly other states are for nursery, primary, and I think they said junior secondary. Muriel calls from Akrika. Hello, Muriel.
Hello, Sam. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Let's go
I
ahead.
think an outright ban is it shouldn't be the solution.
Okay.
And this governors, sometimes they just leave the important matters. Try to tackle the stuff as that graduation party is like very short to parents. Yeah, more like I know it is, but an outright ban should not be the solution. For me, it should be that the party should be celebrated by the school, because these are your graduates, and at the end of the day, you should celebrate them as they are going out. No money, no charges on parents. And then the graduation girls, most of them, the least is 10,000 naira just to hire it. The students are not taking it home. They just use it, wear it, and give it back to the school. 10,000 naira. It's outrageous. Those gowns belong to the school. The school should just give the children to wear and take it back. So what do you give to these students, these parents and the students, after all these days of paying school fees and patronizing you? At the end of the day, nothing. You still export them. And then the school teachers and the proprietors, all of them, they just get contracts of buying food, going to buy this, buy that. My own, they gave me pressure to buy suit. You have to buy suit. Very wonderful suit. You go and sew all those locals. I do not accept because his friends are bringing wonderful ones. So I have to go through the pain of buying suit just to graduate. So selling is all the aesthetics. I think it should be the solution, but an outright ban, I think, is wrong. This milestone, no matter how small it is, I think it should be celebrated. But the school to sponsor it. So,
all right.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Muriel. I'll be speaking to Okwando shortly. I want the ban to save parents. Glorious, once again, on WhatsApp says, remember Glorious had sent a message that she paid 25,000 and all she saw was one basin and a plate of jollof rice. Good evening. My name is Alessa Akayogo, NURSS President, Kempoli Chapter. I think banning of graduation party or signing out in school is a welcome development. Okay. Okwando from Iriebe. Good evening, Okwando.
Good evening to you, the Oracle.
Good evening.
You see, it's only in Nigeria that leadership is all about scoring cheap and expired points. In as much as there are some loopholes in these so-called graduations that they do in the school, I don't think that is the problem of the society for now. If you go to Imo State, the governor is owing some people. He has not done some developmental, projects that he is supposed to do. As a matter of fact, governance is for the good of the people, to make the people feel happy. But how happy are the Imo State people on the governance of the governor than for him to rush and go and ban graduation parties that are being done in school? As a matter of fact, if you go to all these graduation parties, you see how students and parents are happy. It shows that majority of them are satisfied with what is going on. So this ban, I don't think it is necessary. It is just a cheap leadership point that they have, they want to achieve in Imo State. I think there are other things that need address of the governor, attention of the governor, than this small boy banning of graduation party, and people are rejoicing about it. That is my take, my brother. Thank you.
All right, Okwando, thank you very much. Now, what I would say to that is, first of all, I don't think any government at any level, state, federal, or whatever other level of government exists, can solve all of its people's problems at the same time. Meaning that no matter how well-intentioned they are, there are still problems that will be pending or hanging. Secondly, the reason why most executive governments have ministries and cabinets, the presidency has ministries, at state level there are ministries as well, is so that at the same time, with the limited budgets, they can, touch here, touch here. So this obviously is a policy of the Ministry of Education of that state, which means that the complaints have gotten to that ministry. And hopefully, I say hopefully because sometimes it happens, other times it does not. There were consultations with stakeholders, there were roundtable discussions, they sat and came to a conclusion, what do we need to do? Now, why am I saying this? If we have to look at the existence of problems, we would not solve anyone. I think it would be unfair, while I agree that Imo State does have other problems, to say that they should not do this because they have other problems that have not been addressed. That's my take. All right, a few comments, a few more calls as we head deeper into the conversation. Oracle, let the government not stop at only graduation that happens once in 3 years. And once in 6 years, they should go as far as school fees, which every school is allowed to fix by themselves. As I speak, some schools, their fees are as high as 300,000 naira for a child, and some parents have up to 2 or 3 in that same school. Sam, remember a woman that cried out to your station last time that her children's school refused them exams just because they didn't pay party fees. So for me, let all states in Nigeria join the band nationwide. Emmanuel from Port Harcourt. Ima, I understand it's crazy, but that's why you have options. Let's be honest, there are different qualities of education you get from different schools. Again, I'm not speaking for the schools, right? But if as a parent you think that the value does not align with what you pay, you withdraw your kids from that school and look for another. There are cheaper schools that give better value. There are more expensive schools that... So that's why you need to do scouting, right? It's an open market. Sam, good evening. Handsome from Aba. Add Abia State to the number of states who banned it. My problem is that they will find ways to still collect the money from parents. Remember the mother who complained of not having graduation money and her child was forbidden from partaking in school exam. Hello, good evening. All right, call back if you can. We'll very close to the end of this conversation. So if you must be a part of it, you have to call now. The numbers to call are 0817 923 0002. Please turn off your radio as you call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sam.
Good evening. What's your name?
Mr. Issa is the name, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, if I want to contribute to this topic, I would advise they should cancel this thing entirely.
Please turn off your radio.
Considering the economy of the nation and the country now, where parents are finding things difficult, struggling to even pay school fees is another issue. There are another way to do this. During our time, during the time of exam, after examination, they call all the students, call the parents, bring them together, bring out a topic. The student will just present one or two things. Thereafter, results will be given out. The things were still going on well at that time. But now, look at the economy. At the end, they will say, buy this, you go and sow soup, you go and sow this, buy that, contribute all this money. It's really outrageous. So, advisably, they should find another way out to carry out this exercise. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Peter calls from Ahoda. Hello, Peter. Good evening.
Yes, evening, Sammy.
Good evening.
Actually, personally, in as much as I'm not in support of extortion, but it ends down to what you said earlier. It calls for celebration. The celebration to remember past events and to be there in the memory. So this idea, let us focus attention on more vital and important issues concerning education, and not necessarily on graduation issues. Good, the prices can be curtailed if it's too exorbitant for the parents. But that doesn't mean keeping it a bit. No, I don't support that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Peter. Brett, I'll speak to you shortly, and obviously you'll be my final call. Text from Oyibo on WhatsApp says, the only graduation I don't understand is the nursery to primary. The GSS 3 to SS1 makes logical sense because GSS is a terminal point of an entire learning phase in either the 934 or the 6334. And it's marked with a certificate, though I agree that certificate is basically without any functional use today. I agree that cost is an issue as well as scope. Some parents take it to is what I'm upset with. Some want to oppress. Where am I? Some others with their affluence. But Sam, if the cost and scope of any graduation party is always agreed annually by the PTA, then why is anyone that doesn't have a child or ward in that school complaining? But arbitrary fixing of prices is what makes parents complain, Tex says. Well, Tex, I kind of agree with you to a certain extent, right? I don't agree with the just 3 to SS1 graduation. That one, for me, I just don't see why. Bright, my final call, very quickly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Sam, let's face this fact. One, there is nothing wrong with these graduations. It's actually like the first message you read earlier, someone's reaction. It's not bad. The memories, the pictures, the togetherness, the party, there's nothing wrong with it, really. But where the problem is the cost associated to these things. Now, can the government just look into the costs? And that's it. Can the PTA, who actually in some schools, if they really follow what the PTA says, can they come together and say, okay, we cannot do this above this amount? That is just it. The problem here is the cost. I have a daughter who just finished primary 6. She paid 35,000. 35,000 for graduation. Graduating to win for just one. So I like the occasion. It's fine.
Yeah.
But let's look at the cost. That's all. That's the main problem here. The problem is not about the association, the togetherness, and whoever feels intimidated by some parents who come to show affluence or whatever, that shouldn't be a problem. You can decide to go to a lower cadre school so that you won't be intimidated anyway.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bright. And that indeed is my final call. This is where I wrap up conversations. Thanks for being with us.